Are
Good
you?
morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Ashish, have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So, Ashish, first of all, tell us, when is your interview fixed?
28th of May.
20th of May.
Yes.
Oh, so almost a week before the interviews are going
Yes.
to close.
Yes.
Okay. Is it the first time you are going to take the CSE interview?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Ashish, as I can see, you are from Araria, Bihar,
Yes, sir.
and you have done your BTech in mechanical engineering. At one point, somewhere it is mentioned that DSP in Bihar. Now, what is that?
The Deputy Superintendent.
You are no. I understand that.
Yes, sir.
But are you working as DSP now?
No, the training is yet to start.
Okay,
I
but you
been
have
selected.
accepted the appointment,
Yes, sir.
and the training is about to start. All right. You have also done NSS, and you are fond of India's foreign policy and diary writing and jogging.
Yes, sir.
Your optional was political science and international relations.
Yes.
So, at the outset, Ashish, let me ask you, what do you understand by Greenfield project?
So, a greenfield project is something which is started from zero, like nothing is there, and we start a project from scratch. So this is called.
So, what is the advantage of a Greenfield project?
So,
And why is it called green?
So a greenfield project, the advantages are like we can mold it like as we wish. There is no, we can design it properly to the modern standard.
So, a lot of leverage with the architect
So
and
we have the
others.
leverage to module as we want.
And why is it called green?
So it is called green as I think it is
Free from
made
pollution.
scratch, not free from pollution. We can say some pollution will be there, but it will be mostly green project.
All
We
right.
consider it in our mind that it should.
Okay. Now, what is a auto cycle? O-double-T-O.
Auto cycles are, I do not know completely, but it's something related to engine and IC engine.
Ajay, you are fond of India's foreign policy.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you a question. You know, there are best practices everywhere in the world.
Yes.
Now, if India was to learn something from our neighbors, say from Pakistan, we have a love-hate relation, but anything which you think that India must learn from Pakistan, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, what are the things?
So from Pakistan, I think their intelligence agency are quite good. ISI, they have depth in Afghanistan.
Okay.
And they have been quite able to leverage that in their advantage.
Mm-hmm.
From Sri Lanka, we can learn their human development index are better in South Asia. We can say, despite of limited resources, they have done quite well in their human development indexes. And from Bangladesh, they have done phenomenal job in their economic growth. In their they have done that in their sector, the sector which are more labor intensive, as they have huge population in workforce age. So they have leveraged that, I think. And they have done extremely well in textiles.
Okay.
And
anything from Nepal and Bhutan?
So from Bhutan, there is not much to be learned in foreign policy, but from environmental.
I'm saying foreign policy is your subject, but I'm only saying that what we can learn, some of the best practices.
So environmental protection, how
environmental
to green
protection.
GDP.
Okay.
They are the first country to introduce green GDP in their country.
And Nepal?
From Nepal, Nepal is a country which has leveraged, which have played its card well. They have taken advantage from both India and China. They have done quite well, leveraging their position, geostrategic location.
Okay.
They have done quite.
Now we have been talking about so many prime ministers in this country. Can you give me some contribution which was made by I.K. Gujral and Chandrasekhar?
So, Gujral sir was credited for their Gujral doctrine, which was basically neighborhood first policy, non-reciprocal policy. So we are the biggest country in South Asia, and we should not expect reciprocal agreement when we should give something in that and not expect that much from them.
And Chandrasekhar?
Chandrasekhar sir, I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
What is the structure of civil service?
The structure of civil.
How actually civil service, how it works? What is the hierarchy? what are the institutions, and where you will fit into it.
So the civil service structure starts from under secretary, and it goes higher to up to secretary level. So I will start as an under secretary, I guess.
And what is the district administration?
District administration is at the state level, sir. We will start from SDM, I guess, and then we'll move to district magistrate, and then joint secretary and secretary in state secretariat.
They will be part of the district administration. Secretaries.
Sorry, sir, I didn't.
Secretaries will be part of the district administration.
They can be made supervising officer.
How?
They can be given some charge, like if I am a joint secretary in water resource department, and there is a scheme going on, this like Har Ghar Nal Se Jal Yojana. So I can supervise that, go there and see how it is being implemented, and make a report on that, and I can suggest how to improvise it. Or
So district administration is not well equipped.
the district administration are well equipped, but they need advice, expertise, and there are lots of things in district administration to take care of. And I think the expertise, if I am in water resource department, so I'll have some more expertise and more knowledge about that, and I can give some advice to them.
SDM.
S-
What will be the role of SDM in district administration?
Sir, SDM works as an DM in their subdivision. Their domain is a subdivision. In district there are many subdivisions, and SDM is the head of subdivision. They look after all the things in their subdivision.
All the things
Means the law and order supervision, and how the any scheme is going on. So scheme implementation, etc.
anything which is very important.
So I think law and order
And order is
Supervision.
generally police.
and revenue court. In many state, revenue courts are there, and SDM sits there.
Revenue courts.
Revenue.
What is done in the revenue court?
Sir, mostly land disputes are settled, and dispute related to civil nature, sir. I don't
No.
know much about it.
Acha, good. And now you have taken this political science and international
Yes.
relation. Now tell me how you can utilize your knowledge of political science in day-to-day administration.
So, during learning political science, I came to know about the social structure of the society, mainly.
Social structure.
Social structure, sir.
But social
So,
structure we learn in
about the-
sociology.
No, sir. In political science also, we learn about the social structure, how they participate in the political process, their political education, and in this kind, like for if we are implementing some scheme, so we can talk to them and have their views taken care of.
But that any officer can do it actually. It's not maybe to you as a political science student.
Sir, as a political
Tell
science,
me the specific one or two things which are important in day-to-day administration.
uh,
Which you can use.
so if I am in a district bordering area,
District.
if I am in posted in a district which is bordering other nation like Nepal, so I can keep my.
First you should get that cadre, then you should get actually that assignment.
Yes, sir. I think, sir, e-governance.
E-governance.
No, sir. Sorry, sir. I think
Knowledge
I am
of
not
political
clear about it,
science.
sir.
Knowledge of political science which can help you in discharging your duties as a administrator.
Well, I cannot formulate it in my I cannot recall it. Like,
So my last question. Diary writing is actually your
yes,
hobby.
sir.
What you write generally?
Generally, I write day-to-day plan, what I did in day. Was there any specific thing I could mainly take care of? Like, I plan everything and I write it there. If I have done all the things I have planned
And what is the
yesterday,
purpose of writing?
it keeps me disciplined, whether I have completed all the tasks which I have mentioned, like which I have think of in yesterday.
Have you heard about some famous diaries?
No, sir.
No,
No,
you have not heard about
no, sir.
diaries. No, just have read some actually
Sir, I will see.
diaries. You have never come across with any important diaries.
No, sir. I have not think
You
about
have,
what.
you have not yet. Okay, thank you.
Ashish, you are a BTech. Why have you not followed your core subject?
Sir, ma'am, like in college placement, I had taken a 2 year drop. So I was ineligible for most of the company. 90% of the company I was ineligible to sit there.
So the year you
So
complete your graduation, you don't get, you are not
no,
part of the placement
no.
system?
I did my 12th in 2011,
Okay,
and I took a 2 year drop and started my BTech in 2013.
okay.
So during my third year, I got to know that the companies keep their eligibility criteria. They mostly give 1 year drop as
So you
charge.
can't have more than a 1 year gap year.
No, mostly in most of the company except some PSU, this is the norm.
Even private companies.
A private company, it is
So
more.
why did you
actually.
have those 2 gap years?
Ma'am, actually, I couldn't clear IIT JEE and AIEEE at that time, and I took admission in BA course, Political Science, and
IR.
uh,
Okay.
but then again due to some financial condition, means like I was not sure of what can I make of by doing political science in BA.
Okay.
So
पर आप घूम के आप वहीं वापस आ गए.
my father suggested me you should do BTech, at least you will get a job there.
So then why did you not take up a job after that?
So during my third year, ma'am, the reason was that I was not eligible for most of the companies. I should have started preparing for GATE or Indian Engineering Services and
Okay.
Civil Services.
Okay.
And I think over it, and I thought
So
that
during those 2 gap years, you did your BA, which you never
No.
completed?
no, ma'am,
Okay.
I did not come.
Okay. And then you now again move back to political science. Okay, fine. No issue. And you have had 4 attempts.
Yes, ma'am.
So no chance of now going back to political science and academics and things. You are
No.
here to stay in
Yes,
the
ma'am.
competitive race. Okay, fine. No. Foreign policy is going to be one of your core areas.
Yes, ma'am.
So what are the highlights of the Indian foreign policy?
Ma'am, the main highlights are like strategic autonomy, and neighborhood first policy, extended neighborhood
Where
policy.
did we begin? When we began, what was our foreign policy?
That was in 1950s, ma'am.
What was it?
That was for decolonization and emerge as a global leader of the third world.
You've heard
country.
of the term NAM?
Yes, ma'am.
What is it?
NAM was a movement actually, ma'am.
What movement?
Movement to remain non-aligned during Cold War.
So our foreign policy was dominated by what?
That was dominated by most basically from the experience we had in British time to remain non-aligned, not to side with Western world.
Do you have any idea who formulated the NAM? Who were the core members of NAM?
And then, ma'am, our Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and Sukarno from
Tell me the countries.
Ghana. They were there.
Ghana.
I think. Ma'am, I can't recall.
Okay. So read on this. Because if foreign policy is your thrust, you must at least know where was the first conference held, who were the three main...
Bangdong conflict, I think. But can't-
Time over. Okay. Now, yoga has been propagated by a prime minister. It has been adopted by the world, and the entire world is now practicing yoga. What are the benefits of yoga? Do you practice yoga?
No, ma'am. I
Okay.
don't.
What are the benefits of yoga?
Uh,
Or at least what is being propagated as a benefit of yoga?
gives mental strength and physical health wellness.
Just enumerate a little bit. What kind of a regime it is? What does it entail? Does it entail any instruments? Does it entail... What does it entail?
It mostly doesn't entail any instrument, and it is simply our physical postures or related to that.
Can you name some of the kinds of yoga which are practiced?
Ma'am, I can't recall.
You can't recall anything. Okay. Delhi is the most polluted city in the world.
Yes,
Have you heard of this report?
ma'am.
Who conducted this report?
I think IQ Air has
Yes.
conducted.
Yes. Oh, which is this report? For how many years has Delhi been the most polluted, or has it just been taken over?
It just took over Chinese cities, I guess.
In India, are there any cities which are clean cities?
There are many, ma'am. Like
In India?
yes,
Okay.
Simla.
Not internally, I'm talking globally, across the globe. Are there
Across
any
the
cities in
globe.
India which meet the world standards?
Not I'm aware of.
You are not aware of it. So, this is a report which the Swiss have conducted, and the report came out in 2021. Delhi has been the most polluted city in the world for the last 4 consecutive years. Just look at the report if you like. Now, the LPG cost in India
Yes, ma'am.
is the highest again in the world. What reasons? Or what is the cost of petrol here in India? Average cost you can give, because it varies from city to city. And what are the conditions which have
We
resulted?
mostly, ma'am, import our petroleum products, that is LPG and oil also. The average cost is around 115 rupees per liter for petrol
In the country?
in our country.
Yeah, yeah. But what is the average cost globally?
Globally, it varies, ma'am. Like in US,
I'm asking for the average.
average 130 per gallon.
130 what?
130 per,
What?
ma'am. I think
What is the currency?
$130, ma'am.
$130 per
Per gallon.
per gallon. Okay. Petrol is the 3rd highest in India. Diesel is the 8th highest in India. So, what is the reason behind these increasing rates?
Ma'am, the reason behind are manifold. Like we are basically a net importing country of. We import more than 90% of our oil, and the global situation is such that the price is rising. The Russia-Ukraine war.
That is one factor.
That's
That
right.
has been
And
less than 2 months.
the taxation. We need money actually during the COVID crisis. The revenue resources were dried up, and petroleum
Revenue resources of
other revenue resources other than
whose revenue resources had
government
dried up?
of India.
Government of India has
Correct.
had dried up.
That is
Okay.
fine. So we took advantage of the low global prices of oil, and increased taxation for cross subsidization across
So, who increases this tax?
Ministry of Finance.
Ministry of Finance. Okay. Thank you. Please read on this.
Gauri Shankar ji.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, Ashish. Now there's a little bit of contradiction. You say that you like to follow foreign policy, but you have given third preference to Indian Foreign Service. Why?
Sir, as I am already selected in Deputy Superintendent of Police in Bihar, and I would like to stay near home. So that is my hobby to follow foreign policy. And
No, if your hobby is combined with your job, don't you think it's very good? Because then you can enjoy and
I
you can
think
do
there
your
are
job.
personal preferences for me to live in India, and most probably in Bihar, so that I can contribute something to like.
Okay. Now there's going to be 2+2 meeting between India and US. What do you mean by that?
The 2+2 meeting is a meeting between Defense Minister and External Affairs Minister of the two countries.
What is this arrangement? But globally, what do you mean by 2+2
The
meeting?
2+2
With which countries we have this kind of arrangement?
2+2 arrangement we have with Japan, Australia, and USA. And this is a ministerial level dialogue, and this encompasses all the global as well as regional topics.
Does this signify anything?
And this signifies the closeness of the relationships
Okay.
that we
Now, Gupta dynasty is called as the golden age of India.
Yes.
Why?
The Gupta dynasty. In Gupta dynasty, we had very good trade That can be seen as the highest number of gold coins that we found was from Gupta dynasty.
Gold coins.
Yes, sir. That signifies the trade, how much the trade was
What
there.
else? So if the trade is more, it means it's a golden age.
Trade is more the art and culture. Sir. Basically, art and culture signify the prosperity of the society at that time.
Mhm. So that is the definition of a
Uh,
golden period of Indian
Golden
history.
period, basically it is seen that if we are economically prosper, then we move on to that art and culture.
Okay. And who were the rulers in Gupta dynasty?
uh, Gupta dynasty, sir. I can't recall it.
Can you name 2 or 3? No?
Gupta dynasty. Sir, I can't recall it.
Okay. Now, what is the difference between paramilitary force and military?
Sir, paramilitary forces are those forces which can be used in internal situation also, and military forces are mostly used at border force, border security.
Anything more than that?
Uh, Paramilitary forces also sometimes are deployed to bring law and order situation.
What are the paramilitary forces? Can you name 1, 2, 3?
CRPF, sir, BSF, CISF, SSP, ITBP.
Mhm. So the difference is that they can be used for the
Internal situation.
internal.
And we hardly use.
Is that the main difference or something else?
They come under different
This
ministry
is not
also,
the main
sir.
difference. You should learn about this a little bit more. Now, how do we elect members to Rajya Sabha?
For election of Rajya Sabha, they are elected from vote of MLAs in the assembly, state assembly, they which are elected.
Yeah, that is
Proportional representative, one vote, proportional representation.
What do you mean by proportional representation?
They give their preference to vote. They do not have single vote. They give preference to vote, and according to that, the vote is counted, and they get selected.
Be a little more precise. This anybody can tell me this thing.
I can't recall the terminology name. It's the transferable vote. Sorry, sir, I can't.
Okay. My last question is, what is a money bill? And what is the difference between ordinary bill and the money bill?
Sir, money bill is something which can only be introduced in Lok Sabha. That mainly comprises of revenues and taxation. And ordinary bill can be of anything. And the main thing is, in ordinary bill we can introduce in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha also. But for money bill we can introduce it only in Lok Sabha, and that too by ministers only.
And what is the other difference?
Money bill cannot be returned by the president, while the ordinary bill can be returned.
What
And
else?
Rajya Sabha has no power, means like with regard to money bill, and all the powers are with Lok Sabha only.
Yeah, even if the Rajya Sabha does not pass it,
Pass
it
it.
is deemed to have been passed. Okay, thank you so much, Ashish.
Harish ji.
Ashish, what do you see the role of philosophy in political science?
Sir, the political science was started from philosophy only. It is a sub branch of philosophy. The father of political science, Plato, Socrates, basically they derived their theories from philosophy only.
What is the connection?
The study of ideas. Political science was basically the study of ideas. It came as a sub-discipline of philosophy.
Okay, that was in the beginning, but in a contemporary sense,
Yes, sir.
Is it still important?
Yes, sir. It is still relevant.
Give me an example why it's important.
So, sir, if we see the voting pattern, if you only look at the numerical strength, numerical parameters of voting, we cannot know the real thing. If we do not know on which basis they are voting, what are the issues they are voting. So, this is called behavioral science, behavioral issue we can study from political science.
You said voting?
Voting, sir.
Voting.
Voting procedure, sir.
Voting procedures. Okay. Anything else?
I can't recall.
Okay, fine. What do you understand of macroeconomics?
Microeconomics is related to the basic fundamental parameters like GDP, inflation, which are deemed to be conducive for an economic growth of any country.
So it's at a country level.
Yes, sir. It is.
What is micro?
Micro is at the minute level with regard to industry, sir, like a particular sector.
Particular sector or particular region?
Particular.
Okay. Have you? Can you evaluate for me the track record of Indian Supreme Court? Whether it has proved to be an important pillar of one of the pillars of Indian democracy.
Yes, sir.
Stronger pillar of Indian
Yes,
democracy.
it can be said as the strongest pillar of the democracy.
But the track record justifies that.
Yes, sir. It does justify that. There are some instances, but more or less, it has
Like
justified.
what? What instances?
Like in sir, the ADM Jabalpur case.
Sorry?
ADM Jabalpur case. Sir.
ADM?
What?
ADM
ADM
Jabalpur case.
Jab-
What was it?
So it was related to right to life.
Yeah.
I think the Supreme Court judgment was aired in their decision.
Any other major event, a major intervention that the Supreme Court can be proud of?
Kesavanand Bharti case, sir.
So you think it has done well?
It has done.
Huh?
And
Can
right
we-
to privacy. In recently, case put us on right to privacy. And National Food Security Act was also introduced nudged by the Supreme Court.
Where do you think it could have done better?
In judicial activism, sir, they have gone in policy domain, formulating policies, some like declaring some river as.
Okay, fine. My last question. Can we remove the Supreme Court judge? Can one be removed?
Yes, it can be removed.
How can
There is a procedure. We have to bring a motion for that effect.
No, but tell me who initiated, how it goes through, and
Sir, it can be initiated by any MP who brings a resolution. It should have support of at least 50 MP in Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, or sir, I can't recall.
and then what happens?
Then voting happens. 2/3 of majority is needed, and inquiry is set up by the other house.
And what is the basis on which one can be removed?
Violation of the constitution.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Ashish will take you back for a few moments outside, and we'll bring you back again for giving our feedback. Okay, stay there only. Have a seat, Ashish. So Ashish, 20th May is your interview. So tell us, how do you think you fared at this mock interview lasting for approximately half an hour?
Sir, I think I fared very badly.
Very badly.
I couldn't answer simple top questions.
Oh.
I knew, but I couldn't.
Which question?
Like the removal of Supreme Court judges, Gupta's ruler, NAM conference.
So, well, there is no reason to be pessimistic, Ashish. We'll tell you some of your strengths and some of your weaknesses. In the sense, the purpose is only to improve your performance, because one would like you to be ultimately successful. So, take in that spirit only, huh? And you still have lot of time at your disposal, so you can really, come up to the level which is expected in the interview. Okay. So let me first of all say that you can work on your communication skills. So start speaking before a mirror. You see your body language also, movement of eyes, and structuring of sentences. No sentence should be left in between. Sometimes, you left the sentences in between. Okay, complete the complete sentence. You see, so the completion of sentence is necessary. Structuring of a sentence using the right words is also necessary, and it should be clear. Whatever you say should be clear. It can come easily if you practice before a mirror.
Sir, one thing I would like to ask. When I say something, na, sir, so while speaking, I forget something like what to say in last,
In
like
between sentence.
in between sentence. Like sir asked me about on which basis. I knew it was on proved misbehavior and incapacity, but I finally tell violation of constitution, which was the president.
I'll tell you. The best way to learn things is by writing down. So prepare a set of questions. For example, the questions, you will get a recording of this.
Yes, sir.
So write down the answers as many times as possible. Then you will never forget about it. If you start cramming then there is chances of forgetting. So the best way of learning is through writing down. Write as many questions, as many answers as possible, so that you don't forget them. Okay.
Sir, how
Number,
Also, you have to raise volume.
so second was that there should be more energy in your communication. So the pitch, the volume must be raised.
I was feeling underconfident.
No, don't be underconfident. Here you have to give out your best. And if you remain underconfident, your outer, the communication will not come out well. So take it always. When you enter the room, from there only you start thinking that here is an opportunity which has come to me and I have to perform my best. Take a glass of water before entering. Take some long deep breaths. That will bring down your nervousness. Practice this. You still have a lot of time and you can really master the art of good speaking. Have you followed? So number one is bring more energy, higher volume, then modulation in your voice. The voice should not be a flat voice. It should have modulation depending upon what you are speaking. All right. And then, as I said, that you must learn to write the answers. Learn by writing and not by cramming. All right. That is about communication. Knowledge and its depth. You need to work in certain areas. Now, the areas where you were typically asked questions, we did not touch upon the police at all, but questions may be put on police also, because you have become a part of the DSP, even if you have not joined, but you have been selected. So police questioning may come. Okay. So prepare the question on what is how the district police works, what are the challenges before the police, how the police can tackle the problems relating to women, to children, senior citizens, and so on. Okay. So police. Second is your mechanical engineering. So I had asked you a few questions also. You must prepare very well in terms of, you can't take the shelter behind this that I tend to have forgotten about it. Don't. So you have to know that. Third is your foreign policy, India's foreign policy. You have expressed, your closeness to India's foreign policy. So this, why you have not chosen Indian Foreign Service as the first preference. Again, a question will come. Okay. You have to prepare. So you have given IAS as your first preference.
Yes,
so you have to talk about the functions of the IAS, duties of the IAS, and then you say that I am attracted towards that I want to be a part of the public policy making process. So policy formulation, policy implementation, and policy evaluation. I want to do get involved in the governance of this country rather than outside. That you don't criticize IFS, you say that's also an excellent service, but I feel that I would like to do much more for the citizens of this country through public policy, through public governance. Then you can say that it gives you lot many opportunities of proving your leadership skills, because it gives many such opportunities to a young civil service officer. Leadership at a young age, creativity, it gives a lot of possibilities for being creative and seeing the results for affecting the lives of the people. So a lot of good you can do. These are the reasons. So whatever is in favor of the IAS or civil services in this country, they are the factors which you will speak when you have to explain the reason why you have not chosen IAS. Have you followed what I am saying?
Yes.
So that question will come. NSS and diary writing and jogging, you have to prepare on that also. Political science and international relation, lot many questions will come. For example, the question was asked that how political science can help, as a civil servant, while being a civil servant. So what are the things which political science teaches you? So it talks about, the political elements, the economic element, the social element, the public policy, all these, and governance also. So these are the things which you have to perform as a civil servant, and political science can
How
help
do
you out.
think like that means like how political science can help in governance?
Yeah, no, political science also deals with governance, isn't it?
Yes.
So dealing with non-officials, dealing with public policies, implementation, formulation, understanding the people's problems, they are all parts of public administration also, and also figure in the political science also, isn't it?
Yes.
So
Entire political science deals with the public policies, deals with the people of the country.
Political economy.
Yeah,
and
they address this problems of the
I have
society.
never think in that way.
the public policy cycle, if you study that, you will immediately understand how political science plays a very important part, right from the first step of problem identification. So the problems of the people you have to identify. So it starts from there, then it goes to finding solutions, then policy formulation. All these are part of the political system. You see, the entire governance takes part, it cannot remain isolated from the politics, isn't it?
Yes.
The ultimate governance is done by the political executive, and we are the permanent executive. So they are all intermixed. You cannot remain isolated from that, can you? So that is how political science becomes very, very important. All right. Coming to some other things. I asked you some questions about thermodynamics. Thermodynamics will definitely come as one of the questions which may come under mechanical engineering. Then the latest electric vehicles and hydrogen vehicles. What is the latest research? That question may come. Auto cycle you did not know. So anything connected with thermodynamics and auto you must know. And then coming to some other aspects, the structure of civil service. So the district administration, you were sort of mixing it with the state level.
Yeah, I am not able to.
District
formulate
administration
it
means the administration in the district, at the district level. Now there are three levels. So one is the center, the other is the state, third is the district. So who are the officers who are manning the district? The collector is the leader. It coordinates everything. There is a superintendent of police, there is agriculture officer, forest officer, and irrigation superintendent. So there are almost 24 officers which comprise the district administration, headed by the collector. And then there are other echelons. So 73rd Amendment, 74th Amendment, whatever happens in the district gets emulated below also in terms of the Panchayati Raj institutions. So Panchayat, Panchayat Samiti and Zilla Parishad. So you must understand the working of the district administration. It has nothing to do with state. You said that the state level officers, secretary, supervisors. Well, that may be on occasional things. For example, some secretaries may be made in charge of districts, but they are not part of this. They are very selective intervention. The main thing is done by the district level officers and no one else. So you have to confine to that only. And it is headed by the collector. The second was the role of SDM, you were asked, and what are the duties which SDM attends to, and then diary writing. You were asked these questions. So it is, as you rightly said, SDM is a mini district magistrate in his own subdivision, and he has all the activities, functions which are done by the district magistrate also. So this is how you will learn. And please remember the functions of the collector in terms of magisterial functions, revenue functions, coordination functions, election duties, disaster management, and also, not the least, important schemes, programs, public policies which are meant for specific sectors of the society. So women, the laws which govern empowerment and protection of women, you must know that. Domestic Violence Act and Dowry Prohibition Act. Similarly for children, for senior citizens, all the laws, then all the public policies, all the schemes, all the programs for specific sectors, including scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, disadvantaged sectors, handicapped people, and so on. That you must know. Finally, but not the least important, Constitution. So you have to understand the Constitution article by article, read through that. Then of course the issue was regarding why did you not follow your core subject? Why did you? So basically the answer is also similar to what was in the case of civil services. Why you want to join civil services? Okay. So you say that this particular branch which I have, mechanical engineering, how it will be useful to the civil service. You must learn, understand what are the things which you have come to acquire in this. Then the highlights of Indian foreign policy. So India and its neighbors, you must go through that deep. Then non-aligned movement, which were the countries, founding countries, what has been our, over the ages, the foreign policy. Then benefits of yoga and Delhi most polluted city. These were the questions which were asked. You must prepare. LPG, the rates of LPG, etc. They have risen. What is the reason? So go deep into that. Petrol, diesel, and LPG. And then, of course, third preference that we have already discussed. Then 2+2 meetings with the United States, which again is a very important thing. It has happened earlier also in respect of many other countries also. So you were able to come out with the answer that it signifies the closeness, the ties between them. Then the Gupta dynasty, you should prepare very well. The golden period. You started talking about the gold coins. Now that is hardly a indication of the
Art and culture, I think, was a better.
go deep into that. There are many reasons why it is regarded. It can't be only one that the gold coins were being there. And then difference between paramilitary and military, that's again wrong. You have to understand the borders are not looked after by army. Army,
BSF look after that.
normally it is Sashastra Sena Dal
SSB,
or BSF, and these are the and so
Yeah.
basically they are to borders. But one thing you must not forget, that you said that army does not come to the civil authorities. Well, there are exceptions. Army does help the civil authorities during law and order situations, during floods and many calamities. It does come to the aid. And then what is a money bill?
So normally borders are manned by paramilitary forces. Normally, it is
SSB.
BSF, ITBF, Assam Rifles.
It's also
They
called
border, they manage
CAPF
it.
also.
CAPF.
CAPF. Okay. And then what is a money bill? You must know. So Constitution, I said Constitution and anything attached to that. And what is a 0 hour? What is a question hour? All these things. A role of philosophy in political science with example. Then microeconomics, inflation, Supreme Court. So you came out with ADM Jabalpur, but that may be a judgment, but it is not the best example you can give. There must be many other examples. Supreme Court, landmark judgments which have come in, so many.
Recent, or shall we give the recent judgments or the earlier judgments? Like recently, Nalsar judgment.
For example, in law of sedition also Supreme Court gave some directions. There are many Kedarnath, Keshwanand Bharati cases.
Emergency.
Emergency.
Indira Gandhi's setting aside the elections. These are things. These are the golden, can we
So
replace?
you should come out with a relative significance.
Correct.
Impact.
So finally, just for giving answers, you should take care that you give answers in priorities. So which is the most important part of the
I'm
answer?
not able to prioritize those
So
orders.
that will be possible only when you hear the question. Wait for a while, let it churn inside your cerebral mechanism, think about it, and then come out with the answers. And then frame the answer in your mind. This is the first important part. This is the
And
second.
sometimes, sir, I know the answers, but I give wrong answer. Like in paramilitary and military, I knew that paramilitary forces guarded the border.
So start.
Penal has no way of getting into your mind and see whether Penal only listens to what you say.
Do some
So you have to
exercise,
think
yoga,
about it.
yoga,
You have to
just
think
for
about it.
concentration
I
of
live
mind.
there in border district SSB.
So think for a few seconds before you answer, and then
That will help.
prioritize your
Sir,
answer.
one more
Sometimes,
thing
let me tell you. Sometimes you may not be able to structure your thoughts well. So there is a piece of paper and a pencil lying there. You can always request the panel, may I use the paper and pencil? Write down the thoughts and then come out. That will be a kind of cue cards to help you out. So once in a while you can do that also. Have you followed?
Yes.
You don't have to feel defensive on that. You have to come out with the right answer.
Sir,
Any-
once I am asked a question which I do not know,
Politely say, I do not know about it. Once in a while.
like this as paramilitary and military,
Hmm.
which are considered to be basic to be known by everybody. But I didn't exactly know what are the differences.
That is why they fix your interview so late, so that you can prepare. You will be able to prepare. You have so much of time. Here, people have been coming who have
You see,
interviews
in
fixed
being
next
in police
4
now,
days.
partly you are selected in police. You must know paramilitary and military. That's part of the same system.
You have fortunate to have so much of time at your disposal. You can read through it. It's such a situation where you can really work towards that. If you are working somewhere, take leave. Start preparing. And more will be expected from you because you have already qualified for a particular service. All right? So prioritize your answers, give with examples. That will help you out. You can do very well. Let me tell you, you are good, but you can be outstanding. We would definitely hope to see you being selected by scoring very high marks. Put some more energy and confidence. Positive thoughts should enter you, not negative thoughts. Okay? All the best.
And when you take your seat, you can open the button of your coat.
Both button also.
Yeah, so that you
Yeah,
feel comfortable.
whatever is
Because you are not
comfortable to you.
comfortable.
You should feel comfortable while sitting.
And your tie is also not properly.
Sir, if tie is good or shall I say?
वो
Yeah, this
है
is
ठीक
fine.
है बट ठीक
Absolutely.
से लगा ही नहीं.
कोई आप इन सब चीजों पर ज्यादा परेशान मत होइए, पर थोड़ा सा उसको can slightly
The
Pull it
purpose of
slightly.
opening the button is that you feel comfortable sitting. That's it. So we wish you good luck. Okay.
all the best.
Unacademy. Let's crack it.